Welcome to our Living Legacy video series. Today we have a couple who have a long historical association with this church, and I'm sure many people know of you and your family, but we're going to learn a lot more. So would you kindly introduce yourselves?
Hi, my name is Bob Jones.
Just a little closer to the mic.
And here representing also my mother, Edith Jones, who was at Reddings, and my grandmother, Eliza Reddings.
Edith Jones and Eliza Jones, did you say? Redding, sorry, okay.
Hello, I am Elaine Jones, Bob's wife, and I have some stories to tell about the United Church in different churches. Thank you.
All right, so Bob, tell us something about the early historical associations of you and your kin with what is now Central Saanich United Church and formerly, of course, Shady Creek, Brentwood Bay.
Yes, my great-grandparents moved from Woodland, California in 1902 and settled on McTavish Road. They bought 120 acres there. That is where my mother was raised. They sold a lot of the property off to the Reddings family, which had emigrated from England, and that is my grandmother's maiden name was Griffin, and she had another brother there too. They attended the Methodist church that was on McTavish Road, and then consequently was moved to Oldfield Road.
Was moved to Oldfield Road.
Yeah. I'm not sure whether it was still used as a church when it was moved there. Now it's a private home.
And so that was the church affiliation that your mother and your grandmother went to before they came here, is that right?
That's correct.
And so approximately what year did they start coming to our little church?
Well, the church was moved in the late 30s, so I would assume that was not long after that. But that is when the war broke out, so
yes.
Who knows what went on then? I don't.
Indeed, right, yeah. Okay, thank you. Elaine, please share about your early beginnings with this church. And just a little closer to the mic, thanks.
The early beginnings of this church for me was coming here as Bob's grandmother, and his mother was attending. Mm-hmm. So we came along, and we were part of the congregation, and my sister Barbara and I were in the choir here, and we've had a great number of years singing in this lovely little country church.
Mm-hmm. And before you give the mic back, let me ask you, who did you come with? Did you come with your mother?
My mother and father had moved away for a while, so they did attend some Christmas services and Easter services.
Right.
So they have many memories of that, and as we do too.
Do you remember approximately what year that would have been, where you first came?
Well, I joined the choir here in the late 70s.
Okay.
So with my sister Barbara, and
who's still here, still singing with
right.
us sometimes, yeah.
Yes, and then we, of course, had a family, and we were busy with things, and we enjoyed all the services here at that time, and the gatherings in the church hall, and seeing friends week by week. So we do have a lot of things that we share with our family.
Yes, thank you. So Bob, share some early memories of your time around here.
Well, some of the earliest memories, I probably started going to Sunday school here probably 1950.
Wow.
Give or take.
Yeah.
Can't remember that far back.
Sunday school, okay.
I do remember the pews being very hard.
Right.
And the old coal-fired or wood, or maybe it was oil stove that heated the church. In the wintertime, everybody sat on that side of the church.
Okay.
But yes, so then we went on to being a teen and coming to the church, and then starting careers of work and travel.
Yeah, sure. And any special events that stand out, or people that linger in your memory, perhaps?
Still, there's not that many people that I still see from the church. A lot of the older ones are not here anymore.
Yeah,
And the younger ones have moved away. Probably I'm one of the few that's still around the peninsula that
yeah,
came
same.
here. Other of my friends went to either different churches or didn't go to church.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Okay, and Elaine, how about for you? What are who are some of the families or folks that you might remember, or any highlights that of memories from those years gone by?
Oh, we did interact with people from the church here, and we'd see them time to time. Bob,
Do you remember who the minister was, maybe, when you were here?
Yes, Stephen Swift was here
Okay.
for many years, and we used to see him after he had gone to another church from now and then.
Okay.
The choir was always lovely here. It's always so nice to have it in this quaint setting, and the stained glass windows and the lovely flowers. It's always a beautiful place to come.
Was Bev Rippon, was she the
Bev
choir
Rippon
master
was
at that time?
The choir master,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, okay.
Right. And I have a picture of the choir.
Oh, yes, please show it to the camera. And do you have any names of any of those folks?
I do. I'm on the left, on the back row,
Okay.
and there's Jean Lyon,
Mm-hmm.
and Bev Rippon is in the red.
Oh.
Myra Larson,
Mm-hmm.
my sister Barbara's in the front row on the right. Yes, and oh, the names.
Well, angels you look like.
Thank you, yes.
Thank you. And do you have any other photos that you want to share of your family?
This is the church photo that was taken of Bob's mom in
Just a little lower.
1978.
There she is.
Yes.
And her name?
Edith Jones.
That's Edith Jones. Any relation to Trevor Jones? I wonder?
No.
No, okay.
And remember Trevor and family coming here.
Sure, yeah. Thanks for sharing that. And we have more photos coming.
Give me that.
Oh, right, our voices. Got it. Yeah, thanks. Okay, that looks pretty good. And who is this, or when is this? Where is this?
This is the Methodist church that was on McTavish Road. And in this picture are my mother and my grandmother.
Their names again?
Edith Jones, well, at that point, Edith Reddings and Mary Eliza Reddings.
Okay.
Also in this picture, I realized there's 17 of the people in this picture who are related. The picture was probably about 1920, no, that's not right, 1935 maybe.
Okay, fabulous. Yeah. And so, thanks for sharing that. Now, I understand that this church has been important for some of the sacred rites, such as baptisms and burials in your family. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. My great-grandparents are in the cemetery, Shady Creek Cemetery. My grandmother's there too. My mother, when she passed away, they had her funeral here. And then when my dad passed away in 2004, we had a memorial service here. He was a member of the Bayside Big Band, and all 17 of them came and did a tribute for him.
Oh,
They were worried that the walls were going to blow out of the church with that many people
But
playing.
they stood.
I think that's why the bars are on the ceiling to hold it together.
And do I remember correctly that you had your children were baptized here?
Yes, both our son Jeffrey and our daughter Kristen were baptized here.
Very good. And Elaine, do you have any of your kin laying in rest out next door, or?
Not in this cemetery,
Oh,
no.
okay. All right.
But,
Anything else that goes back in terms of those early historical associations that you think of?
when I was a teenager, I joined the choir at St. Paul's United Church in Sydney. And Barbara, my sister, and I were in the choir there. And Bob and I were married there in 1968. And then after our marriage, we came to Shady Creek. So
Yeah.
we've enjoyed the friendship and fellowship here.
Indeed. Thank you. Now, Bob, I understand that you made the cross for this church. Please tell us about that, and then we'll turn the camera so they can see the whole cross.
Okay. Yes, I don't remember when, and I don't know what the occasion was to make it, but yes, I was asked to make a cross for the church. And it's still hanging up there on the
It
wall.
is indeed, and I'm just going to move to the camera and just change the angle of the camera somewhat so we can see the full cross. There it is. Continuing. And it continues to grace and bless our sanctuary every single week. What a gift. Thank you, Bob.
My mother and our daughter both made a plaque or scroll which for the past ministers.
Yes, and it has been hanging out in the heritage room.
So
And unfortunately, we can't show it because it's under safekeeping at this very moment.
yeah, my mother did the artwork and my daughter did the calligraphy on it.
Yeah, some of you may remember that. It's hand painted and written in calligraphy, and it lists the previous ministers mainly. Is
Yes,
that correct?
Back as far as, I guess, the start of the church. So
Wow. Yeah, that's a real artifact for our church as well. Thank you.
also, my mother, being an artist, often held art shows in the vestibule of the church.
Oh, did she?
Yeah. And
Wow.
I can't remember if it was just her or she had some other people displaying some of their artwork.
So she made the type of art that you'd hang on a wall?
Yes, it was
Like paintings? and-
serigraph type paintings. So,
Serigraph, I don't know what that is, but.
serigraph is silk screen.
Oh, okay.
And they would bring the artwork here, set it up on a Friday night, and they actually stayed in the churchyard in their Volkswagen van,
Did they?
so nobody would come and steal anything.
Oh, wow. And so was that open to the public, or was that?
Yeah, yes, it was,
It
yeah.
was. How about that? Well, I didn't know that piece of history, that our heritage room used to be used as an art exhibit space.
And a little aside, that one of their good friends they camped with also had a Volkswagen van, and they came here and snuck up on them and started playing When the Saints Come Marching In the middle of the night.
I bet that's a surprise.
Yes, it did.
Well, I seem to have lost my list of questions. I don't know where they evaporated to here. Oh, there it is. One moment. Well, let's see. Since you've both really been around the peninsula and around this church for a very long time, you've probably noticed many changes. What would you say have been the biggest changes that you've noticed, particularly with the church, say?
Well, I think I've noticed that the dwindling of the congregation.
Indeed.
There's many reasons for it.
How long have you been noticing that?
probably the last 10 or 12 years.
Okay.
A lot of people have passed on.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much for the children to do, the kids, their devices, their,
Yeah, that's
and it's
for
hard to
sure.
hold their attention, for that. I know it's only an hour, but
yeah,
it's
yeah. Times have changed, eh?
yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know, honestly, if the church has kept up with that.
Well, it's true. We're trying. Our new motto is, what is it? The 21st Century Country Church. So we're trying to
Yes, well, that
retain
sounds good, but
retain
you
the
know
traditions.
what I'm saying, that it's hard to hold them. And
I
they move
know.
away, and then
Yeah.
when they move somewhere else, maybe there's not a church near them, and they stop going.
Well, I think that's a general trend across Canada. Yeah, from what I understand. Okay. Is there anything, Elaine, that you would add to that, or is that also your main observation?
Well, I certainly agree with what Bob is saying, and but the quaintness of this church is what brings people here to experience a nice setting, and the choir, and it's rural, and it's really lovely to be around, and they have their bazaars here and different things, and so
Yeah.
we'll hopefully attract more people after COVID.
Yeah, so we are going to be opening our doors again in September and welcoming anyone who wants to come and visit. Yeah. Okay, is there anything else that you think of in terms of your historical affiliations with this church? Anything else at all that we haven't touched on already?
We did like the name Shady Creek, but I see it's
Oh,
changed.
yeah, I realize that, that change. It's true. People are very attached to the Shady Creek name. And as far as I know, the hall is still called Shady Creek Hall, at least last I knew of. And I think we are still Shady Creek, just our legal name has
Yes.
been changed.
We
Yeah.
always refer to it as Shady Creek.
Indeed, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we thank all the people who, you in particular too, beautiful organ music, and Bev Rippon before you.
Yeah, Bev
Choir
was here
members,
Bev was here for
ministers.
about 30 years, I
Yes,
understand.
yes.
Yeah, God bless her heart.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you both very much for coming to share your memories and to just step forward as members of the wider community, and always welcome as members of Shady Creek, Central Saanich United Church. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you. Okay. Do you want to say
Thank you
anything?
very much. It was
Oh,
great.
thank you for participating in the Legacy Video Series, Living Legacy Video Series. Thank you very much.